1. Welcome to Division 10 of Tarnished Deathmatch Season 6. We're here on New Year's Eve watching Queen Brisolyn take it up against Nope. Lucky Combs is with me. And what are your thoughts on Mongols vs Huns for game number 1 on Aftermath?
I mean, Huns should be way faster, right? I think Mongols are probably favored long term. They have better cav archers, relatively similar cavalry, better options, I think, overall, but should be way slower to start out. So I'm curious to see how fast Nope wants to go with the Huns here.
Brisolyn does want to go fast. Sends her Hussar forward. Nope, kind of sending it back against the opponent's Hussar. Don't like that too much. And it is very daring start for Brisolyn. She's going very aggressive with Step Lancer start out of the Mongols. Camels give you safety against the Huns, but Brisolyn doesn't want safety. She wants will kills, and she's getting another 2 there. Yes.
All right. Well, forget what I said, I guess. I love this from Brisolyn because not only are you getting damage, but you're keeping the Huns at home, right? So you're able to actually maybe get some of these castles up at home. There's probably going to be a reversal in here at some point with the Huns. They should just be able to out-pop the Mongols at a certain point, but maybe not if all their villagers die. 6 fill kills already, and more on the way.
Yeah, 6 fill kills is massive. It's a bit less massive for the Huns because they can still produce. Don't need to build houses with the villagers. Very heavy paladin start for the Hun. I'm not sure about that against the camels. We're not seeing camels, so I guess that's fine for now. But no Rex being added. I would have liked to see some barracks here. 9 stables is very high. Without a market as well.
Yeah, I think Halb has to be mixed in here at some point, but I don't mind Paladin. The Mongol camels aren't amazing, so you can maybe get some good damage in here, but it's only 3 villagers for Nope, so can't really build any production buildings super fast right now.
And indeed, Brisolyn was just running after Step Lancers for most of that rush there. 10 will kills in favor of the Queen, but here comes the counter damage. Nope's Paladins are forward. 1 castle is up. The 2nd castle villagers can't build the town center, so are idled there a bit. And it is some will kills in return here.
Pretty good shots with the SO before they went down from Brisolyn. So maybe the Step Lancers can actually defend against this. But a couple of builds are gonna go down on the left.
Bit quicker camel switch, I think, because if it's just Step Lancers versus Paladins, that's not great. 2nd castle is stopped at 95%, and it's good return damage. Nope, actually ahead in the will kills now with 13 to 10. Yeah. And Brisolyn left with 4 villagers.
I think maybe she needed to get the castles up a little bit faster, right? Only 1 castle completed in the end. I guess she'll get another one up now, but I think a little bit more gusto on these castles would have gone a long way.
And more villagers still dying at the back onto the town centers. 2 siege workshops are up. Brisolyn got workshop control, but maybe that wasn't the most important thing at the start quite yet. Now finally some camels appearing. Cavalier probably is a misclick. Really like to see more of a camel commitment here, especially against the pure stable start. But Brisolyn eventually cleans it up and can maybe get to the phase where Mongols are a bit favored. Yeah, siege rams, I don't know, why not Scorps? I think Scorp SO makes this kind of hard to deal with for the Huns more than rams.
I guess Nope's mixing in the cav archers now, so maybe soak some damage there, but I think just straight SO or, Scorpions could do some work here.
Griffin is a fan of the trade workshops.
Basically even on villagers, by the way, after all that craziness.
Yep. Nope killed more, but I guess Brisolyn has more TCs up, 2 TCs up now, finally finishing the other castles. Market is built there as well. Brisolyn sold 1,000 food, so very light marketing. But nice to take market a bit away from the Huns as well. And welcome Griffin. Hi Aurico. Happy New Year everybody. As Brisolyn gets a bit onto the map and we slow the game down a little bit. Huns are trying to get their massive army out and are struggling on gold for that because, well, we didn't get any Rex, so no non-gold units added for the for the Hun.
Yeah, and no trade workshops either. Brisolyn has taken good early control over both sides, so that's a decent trickle of gold for her.
Big fight upcoming. The Han Horde runs in. Think the Huns have all enough units to deal with this, but castle goes up with a nice timing for
That's
Brisolyn.
big. And there was a lot of Hussar. Now the Paladin are fighting up against Mangudai and Camels, which is not ideal. It's actually a really good fight, I think, for Brisolyn at the end of that.
Cavachers were also not fighting, right? I thought Nov would go forward with all his army, kind of sent only half. If Cavachers and Paladins are together, I think he still has the stronger army, and it seems so as he pushes the Cavacher-based army back here. Brisolyn, Mongols are expensive, so can't really afford to reproduce this quickly. Should maybe retreat here and save her Mangudai numbers.
Yeah, you really want to hit like 40-50 Mangudai if you're throwing them away early before your gold economy set up. That's kind of rough, but maybe feels like she needs to hold this position.
I don't think she needs to though, right? Her base is still quite far away. That's very costing a lot of Mangudai here. Ram's not really adding any value. Scorpions would be great here to just get like another backline there. Now Hussar being added as a frontline for Brisolyn. She sold food. I think selling wood might have been a better choice there, because soon she will run out of those resources. Mangudai overall still taking good trades though, and here comes the Choo-Choo train again.
Yeah, and there's not too much Cav left. It's mostly Cav archers now in Nope's army, so the Rams could actually provide some value in front now. But Nope might feel the need to get out of here with the siege onagers in the mix.
Ooh, Nope might feel the need to get out of here with the Cav archers. Indeed.
Oh!
That is some good shots from Brisolyn.
Well, maybe you should have.
Nope's losing a lot of army. 15 army only. Looks like it's Brisolyn's game number 1 as the Mongols proved to be too strong. Both got early damage. And then a nice Mongol army with maybe not the optimal composition. I think some early heavy deals would have helped Nope.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of the early damage was key for Brisolyn. I think it threw Nope way off. I probably wasn't thinking to add barracks anyway, since I don't think there were any barracks until these 4 at the very end. But really good job delaying the Hun push just by sniping villagers early.
Yep, good rushes, then some counter damage, but in the end, the Mongols take it with a good KD for Brisolyn and more economy build-up for her as well.
Nice Civ trade for Brisolyn as well. Final pick, beating the number 2 pick from Nope. So.
Yeah, but a very, very good final pick though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, they're probably in game 2 already.
Yep.
Oh, they're not. Might have missed it.
I think we might have, because I think I did see it there. Briefly.
Well, you want to do it at the end or download it to go in order?
I'm fine doing it at the end unless that bothers you.
Not really.
Okay.
But there's no new lobby, so I'm a bit tempted to do something. Okay, there's a new lobby. Looks like we're going to Sunburn. So what are we expecting there?
Sunburn. I didn't see what civs they chose in the last game either. I wouldn't mind Celts or maybe Berbers here for Brisolyn. Berbers are better elsewhere. For Nope, maybe Malians.
Yeah, I think Malians is a very reasonable choice. And then Brisolyn says, I don't know, do you try to go with Spanish speed here maybe?
That's true. They build faster, right? So they are kind of a faster rush civ, which could be good here. I
Could
think
leave
I
it
would
for
save
hyper
them.
random as well, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would save them for hyper random, even though Berbers are probably better there. I don't know. It's tough. This is going to be a tough civ matchup, I think.
Could be
Maybe if you're
Chinese with the extra
anticipating
villagers,
Malians.
and you go a lot of helps or fire lances.
Chinese full Fire Lancer. I actually wouldn't mind that. It's probably as good as it's going to get for the Chinese, right? On these maps.
Yeah, I don't really like the as a pick, but yeah, I'm saying Chinese Malians. Changed my mind. It was Spanish for hyper random.
Yeah, I have
Do you
no
also
idea
only
where
see
else.
Brisolyn in the lobby? Oh, never mind. I guess we missed Sunburn and we're going to Runestones. So, well,
I
we'll
see.
keep our
Okay.
civ picks for when we look at the Sunburn game.
Okay. I'm gonna
So
assume
I'm
that
gonna
we're
check
right.
mark then. We're assuming these are played.
Runestones. Okay. So we have Runestones and then Serengeti and Hyper Random still to go.
So this is Celts here versus Bulgarians.
I agree on Celts. You go Bulgarians here instead of. I actually wouldn't mind like a Bohemians here, maybe. Because where else are you gonna go Bohemians? Serengeti. I don't love them on Serengeti. They're definitely not a hyper random civ.
Bohemians and Serengeti can be fine. It's a long map, but maybe a bit too long, so I'd rather play them on. Maybe it's Bohemians here and Bulgarians and Serengeti. Or Tatars for Serengeti, right? I think it's Tatars for Serengeti, probably. It's a lot of big hills.
Yeah. I think as long as Brisolyn did not go Celts in the previous game that we missed, I think Bohemians is a good pick here, because I think it should be Celts. And I think Bohemians are a decent civ matchup against them. They're not terrible against Berbers either, as far as it goes, so...
They seem to have rehosted, I believe. Maybe we would have had time to watch the rec. But we have the map draft here.
Okay, there we go. Looks like they've started now.
Right, let's go. And I'm correct, I think. As long as I didn't change my prediction.
No, I think
I didn't
you're
officially
correct.
change it, so I think it counts.
Well, we'll see. Bulgarians don't feel amazing against the Celts. Is that true?
I think Bulgarians are one of the better civ matchups against Celts.
They? Okay. All right.
Those Conics are pretty good against Celts. And it's, if you need something to stop Celts, which is very hard, Bulgarians is probably one of your best bets. I think I like this one for Bulgarians.
True, yeah. If you just get a lot of conics out, I guess, that can... It's tough with just siege and infantry, right? Which is mostly all Celts want to make. You probably have to mix in scorpions, quite a few of them, but that's not a huge deal, I don't think, for the Celts.
Yeah, Bulgarians can do their own SO. Like, against the Scorps, it's fine then, right? I think I still favor Celts, but...
Not true.
Celts are probably favored against everything, and Bulgarians is one of the civs that stand a chance. So I think draft-wise, good news for Nope. I did predictions for this game, so you can bet on it. Maybe for next game we're gonna have mods in chat.
All right, I'm looking forward to a bunch of big SO shots this game.
We already had some to end the last one. Big SO shots usually good news for the Queen. Welcome to Runestones. Nope, on the left as the T Bulgarians. Brisolyn with the Celts on the right. No Celt Paladin start. Both starting Rex, so will be a little bit slower.
Yeah, no big rushes this time. Both players took quite a lot of damage in that game one. They don't want to do that again. So let's see if this opening scout could find some damage though.
And Nope fixed his Hussar behavior this time, not patrolling into Brisolyn Scout, instead going to rush himself, maybe missing the base there a bit though, while Brisolyn is already delaying buildings here and doesn't get a kill, but delays quite well, right? There was a lot of village idle time there.
Yep. Yeah, I thought she might be able to get a couple vills in there, but it was good micro by Nope. Probably why his Hussars idle at the front. But it is what it is. Two-handed swordsman from the Bulgarians. Opening, okay.
I like it, right? It's their best unit against champs. Early on. President Champ rushing here, actually sending them in. And now stables being added by Nope as well for Cavalier play. Well, at least they get stirrups. Champion almost gets a will kill there. Nope's Hussar still a bit forgotten about.
The Bulgarian two-handed swordsman should be better than the Celt champion, right? In a fight, obviously speed is different, but
I think so. I'm never really fully sure how good they are. I mainly want to see some conics here. And finally, there's a crab post for Nope, but I think instead of some of the racks, instead of all the stables, we could have went straight into conic here with the bit slower openings, and it's really the unit you want to have against Celts. Siege already being added in for Brisolyn. She's going for a very daring middle castle straight away with one villager. Let's see if that will work. Don't think it will, as the two-handed swordsman target the will there.
I was a little unsure about the Cavalier edition, but they are actually sniping these Scorpions nicely early on in this fight.
Okay, Paladin now being added in as well. Brisolyn also wants some mobile camp units. She added one stable.
Celt Paladin, let's go!
In the end, Brisolyn has 55 army, 2 Nopes, 21 on the field, so maybe some production speed issue there. Hussar being mixed in already. I don't like the Hussars before farms here. I want to see conics, but I'm not getting them. I'm getting the Celt infantry siege out of Brisolyn, moving straight down to the middle. Now sending 6 villagers to really get that castle.
Yeah, it's only one Krepos behind this for Nope, so it doesn't really feel like he wants to go into conics. I feel like that's the unit you need to focus on though, right?
I think so. But there was a decent fight, cleans up some of the stuff, not much. Meat shield for Brisolyn. Stirrups Hussars take out 1 SO at least, maybe 2. No, not really. I like the mix of like Otter and Scorp now. It's what I wanted to see from Brisolyn in the Mongol game. And it looks like she has been watching the game back already.
I don't know about this fight. There are some SO in here for Nope, but against the Celt SO, that's a tough micro ask.
I think the blizzard is impacting your mic a bit. I don't think it's my headset this time. I can still understand you, but you were being a bit robotic as the push goes into the front castle here. It's already under trap fire. I mean, this is looking like a really strong Celt push for Brisolyn. The front line is there, the siege is firing away. More infantry should be spammed towards the middle. There's another group coming. Maybe that's patrolling though. Siege workshops are falling for Nope, and this is looking like we're gonna see one more point for Brisolyn. Hussar now could maybe find an engagement. Meat shield is kind of left, but the Scorpions behind are adding the necessary protection to the SO.
Yeah, as long as Brisolyn doesn't like lose everything here, I think she's still alright. That was not a great fight, but I just don't think there's enough behind this for Nope.
Yeah, it's all a bit trickling to the front as well. Now the Celt Paladin getting into the mix, getting some nice trades against the two-handed swordsman, and he's just trying to snipe the siege with the Hussar, but the Celt Scorpions deal of all the little sniping parties relatively well, and they beautifully line up for the stops there as well. Get out of my game castle by Brisolyn now.
I like it. She's got the position here, right? There's nothing really to deny this except for maybe a really well-timed SO shot.
And we're just standing around there. Nope can see it. Now they started. SO falls, and it will go up 2 army for Nope. And the Celts get yet another dominant dub.
Yeah, just once you get that siege ball up as the Celts, it feels like a really tough matchup to me. But no Conics doesn't help.
Yeah, there was the one unit why I thought Bulgarians are a bit better over Civ against Celts. But without it, it's just quite generic units in the two-handed and the Cavalier, and Brisolyn takes a Celt victory.
Good start for Brisolyn.
Brisolyn seems back in 2026. Good start of the year for her. But let's see. She has been reverse swept before, I think, right? So shouldn't get too relaxed here. I think her first set was a reverse sweep against her, unfortunately.
Yeah, and she is going through a lot of her good civs here. Obviously depends on what was in that Sunburn game, but
let's just ignore it happened.
It's just
the game 5,
with
man.
Something here.
Brisolyn on the predictions, and we are going to Serengeti. Quite swift
Saving
series
hyper
so
random for last. I appreciate it.
So Serengeti.
Serengeti.
What civs could we see?
It should be Berbers for Brisolyn, if she didn't use them already, and Nope has some options. Malians isn't a terrible shout here now, but if Nope still has them, but it should be Tatars, I think.
Tatars with Berbers, right?
It's not a great Civ matchup for the Tatars, I don't think, but I think that is my prediction, yeah.
Yeah, Tatars are but the obvious choice for Serengeti though with the hills. I mean, I guess, what do you play on hyper random? Maybe you hope for a close map, play Bohemians there, I suppose. Because I think they're a bit slow for Serengeti. And then Berbers is a good call against Tatars, like, because Tatars want to play with the hills on Serengeti.
What's the Bohemian dock look like? I have no idea.
It's pretty bad.
It's not good, is it? Yeah. So you're really hoping for a particular map if you go Bohemians on hyper random, but maybe you have to.
Maybe you have to. We will see as we've started into this one first on Serengeti. And we're completely wrong. They're picking their lowest drafted civs, or at least their worst civs in my opinion. It is Portuguese versus Ethiopians. I think that's quite good news for Nope, no? Ethiopian Siege should dominate here?
I guess. I don't know. Portuguese Siege is easier to micro. It might not be that bad, but we'll see.
Depend on the bombard cannons. We're on to Serengeti. Nope, starting with Rex with Ethiopians and 2 villagers on 2 different houses. Ooh, I think maybe needs some more info about the start. It's 2 villagers on the first Rex, 1 villager on a house. That's what we usually do. Now switches that villager away a bit. Brisolyn going stable start as Portuguese. She wants to Portuguese cavalry rush. Well, they're a bit cheaper at least, but not the greatest unit.
Yeah, I don't mind it as long as she doesn't overcommit. I think it's just 3 stables down, so that's not too bad. As long as like 30 is maybe the max that I want to see Cavalier on the field. I
Yeah,
don't
she's
think any
already
more than
queued that
that's
in
going to
2
do well
stables
against
though.
Ethiopian.
She's gonna queue 45 at least, I think. Hussar gets another kill. Nope, losing a villager again. Ethiopians are a bit slow. No treadmill crane for them. No chicken castle as well. So the rush could find some damage. And the first cavalier appears. Gets a bit doinked. But normally the first one is only to drag the units to the back, and then the second and third one get the damage. As Prison's first cavalier is doing exactly that. And she's microing the other 2 onto the villagers. That's how it's supposed to be done. And she will get a kill here with the northern one.
Yeah, it's been decent halb micro here for Nope, but 2 vills down. I don't know. Probably shouldn't be able to find any more vill kills here, Brisolyn, but there are some vills kind of out in the open on the left on that castle still, if she loops around that way. Champion. Portuguese champions. I guess they're fully upgraded. No, they aren't. They don't
makes
get
sense,
squires.
right? You're seeing a heavier start. Yeah, they don't get squares, yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but Ethiopians are probably going to be mixing in stuff to deal with them pretty soon, right? Although,
I mean, it's just a front line for the Portuguese, for the like organ gun bombard cannons that I'm expecting as a follow-up. Not many workshops though, well, 4 workshops. And some, what is this, hand cannons? Hand cannons ARPs, kind of making both.
there's no range yet for Nope. It's full barrack siege workshop. This is an interesting choice.
I mean, you can just play Help Siege with Ethiopians. The siege is really good. Happy New Year, sure. A lot of bombard cannons early already. Ethiopian bombard cannons are out first, before the Portuguese ones. And shuttle warriors mixed in against the Japs. Well, only 3. That's fine. First organ gun is there.
Torsian engines help a bit with these bombard cannons. I'm not sure if it's enough though. I prefer SO, I think, at least until I see the Portuguese bombard cannons.
Yeah. SO are doing quite the damage now, stopping this push.
Yeah. Brisolyn taking good map control behind. Castles are... Well, one castle's on a hill at least.
Yeah, at least the middle one is.
Right
one
in the cracker's terrain.
Exactly, yeah, that's also what I wanted to say. She's not avoiding the crack terrain, she's placing it right in it. So maybe continue the Brisolyn Hill meme with a crack terrain meme now. But first bombard cannons engagements in the middle will be easier to micro for the Portuguese. And she has a pretty good comp. I think I like the champ organ gun bombard cannon. That's what we should see here. For the Portu.
Yeah, this might be... I haven't seen organ guns very often in DM. I'll put it that way. So I'm hyped to see how they do here.
Yeah, they're decent against infantry. SO shots are great though. All the champions down. Havadius not going onto the Cavalier though. Maybe they can find some damage. President's castle gets instant nuked by the siege, and Torsion engines finding great shots against the bombard cannons of Brisolyn as well. Is it enough though? Overall, she has just a lot more army, and numbers matter in Deathmatch as an all of AV2.
Yeah, Brisolyn was microing her bombard cannons in that fight rather than the infantry, which is why she got nuked, but she was able to snipe out most of the SO, so she still has the important parts of her army here. But
he's just like Nova struggling to produce units, right? He's always having a lot less units while having a good number of buildings.
Yep.
But he's not queuing them enough, and that's why President tends to have the bigger army every time, and that's how she's been dominating in this set so far, even with the Portuguese army. I mean, 90 armies versus 6 is great numbers for the Queen.
Yeah, I don't know if you can stop this anymore. Like, it's decent SO shots from Nope, but when you're just bringing one out at a time, I don't know if you can ever clear up this whole army. light cav addition from Brisolyn is pretty good here too, I think.
Yeah, she has 2 on food. Let's count it as a food eco. But as long as she has this big army. And yes, be easy, that works. You can use farms to delete crack terrain, but I think it's too many APMs. Too much APM to do it in DM. So I don't think we're gonna see that.
Can you still do that? Why do I have it in my head that they removed
They
that?
fixed it? Really?
For
It
some
used to be
reason,
possible, I'm not sure.
I thought they did, but I might be completely making that up though. I don't know.
Well, we aren't making up this push for Brisolyn. She's killing all the buildings at the front of Nope space, and Nope will have to call it dominant performance for the Cabbage Queen. Nice middle control, good death ball build up, and yeah, producing army tends to win deathmatch games.
I should have said 4-1 after all in my prediction. Darn it. I underestimated the queen.
Doubted the queen. You thought they fixed it, but you can't confirm. Maybe Lucky's right then, and they did fix it. I don't know. We need someone to look for sources. As Brisolyn sources out a better economy behind it as well. She's a bit faster too. 43 GAPM. I mean, that's actually really high for Division 10, I think.
I have no idea. I never look at people's APMs, to be honest. It's solid, though. It is solid for sure.
That's like me.
Everyone's
like
APM looks good to me.
My team, I just watched a cast from CMod back, and Tom looked at the APM. KD had 80, and everybody else in the game had 50. So 50 is quite normal for good players.
They are into the final game, by the way. We're in spec delay still, but just so you know.
Alright, so we're on hyper random. I'm expecting, what did I say? Spanish versus... Guess Tatars now? They're a bit better for hyper random Civ and good against Spanish, so... Saying Spanish Tatars?
Man. I might say Bohemians here. I don't know if I don't know, man. Both the Tatars and the Bohemians really struggle on a lot of potential hyper-random generations. And against the Spanish, I think I prefer Bohemians.
I would rather want to
not.
play Tatars, but it's also a bit my Civ preference. I'm sure there's people who would rather play Bohemians as well. We are getting Bohemians anyways, so Nope is thinking like you.
Okay. I tap into that lower division mindset with Civs, I guess. I like the Bohemians more than a lot of people seem to. I know it's tough with the trying to micro Halfnitsa and whatnot, but I think they do theoretically counter a lot of top-end DM Civs.
Well, Brisolyn's praying for water. Nope is praying against water, and Nope is getting really lucky here. Wall start, land map,
Boy.
Bohemian Dream for hyper random, and we've got Gilbert declare. Maybe he can declare victory over Brisolyn.
This guy's
kind of
crazy. Look at his attack.
What? 11 plus 44? But that's a charge attack, right? Yeah, I think that's a charge attack.
Okay, you're right.
At least, I mean, if that was all the attacks, it would be insane. They're kind of passing each other.
These sea walls like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're extremely close together, which is probably not.
Don't think you get the charge attack against the walls, though, so it's actually not that great against the walls with its 15 attack.
He's actually going through pretty quick anyway. You gotta keep this guy out. He's gonna wreck your economy. Okay, helps out now. That's good.
Bohemian helps. Pretty good at dealing with a Cav hero. On the other side, Brisolyn fighting it with Spanish Paladin. 5 stables for Brisolyn, 3 racks, and then into siege and castles. On the other hand side, it's very pure 9 racks. I don't mind that for Bohemians, and then some siege. Makes sense. You want to go hard power Schnitzer, right?
Yeah. What's your composition for as your Spanish here? conks, and then what?
Could mix in hand cannons with Spanish? I mean, they have bonuses on them too.
It's going to be so tough microing against the siege, right? Spanish really don't have great siege options.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to rely on the paladin, I suppose, to dive through the halb.
I mean, her bombard cannons are at least firing faster too, but they have less range. So
yeah, that's true.
that's a bit hard.
That's true.
And it's not many conks, right? It's a lot of paladins running into the Helvetiers here, so good start to this one for Nope, but there's a lot of idle villagers. Let's see. How's the production for Nope? Yeah, Rex are producing only 2 at a time again, so that's making me a bit worried for the tier player here.
Yeah, as the Bohemians, you're basically making halb forever, right? There's never a moment where you don't want halb, so I think this is the time to just queue up full barracks.
Yeah, he's only queuing like 20 at a time, right? And then he runs out sometimes. The Hoffmans are winning the fight in the middle. And Brisolyn's bombard cannons are a bit exposed. I think Champ Edition would have helped here too. Brisolyn's making her own Helvetiers, but what is she making Helvetiers against? I think those should be Champs. Bit of a gold issue there. Maybe some Kongs now entering the field, but 18 bombard cannons in queue might be overdoing it. I would like to see some Champs instead.
The halb paladin comp against Bohemian halb just I don't think is going to get it done.
Oh, paladin squeezed through the sea gate. I thought they were going on to the Haufnitzer, but they're going for the eco, I guess. I think they're just trapped now.
Back here.
But the Helvetiers are on there. Nope with a good reaction. Has Helvetiers going there, so don't think this raid will do too much. In the middle, fight's still relatively even.
Where's the halb though? It all chased into the back. There's not much in front of the Haufnitzer now.
Yeah, and Brisolyn's bombard cannons finding shots on the Haufnitzer. Bombard cannons shooting against bombard cannons. Everything's dying, but that's good trades for the Spanish. If they trade evenly, they traded better than even. All the bombard cannons are Haufnitzer are gone.
Those were great bombard cannon shots by Brisolyn. Okay, halb arrive again though.
Now some Kongs are there to add additional DPS. Nova's trying to attack this castle, but it does go up. Army numbers are even. That's at least the closest Nova's gotten to even army numbers this set. Apart from the Hans game, maybe. Because, well, Hans is supposed to have more.
Right. The Hussite wagons are an interesting choice. But I guess they stoke decent damage against the Kongs. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm just happy if Nope makes any military. But
yeah,
Brisolyn takes some better engagements again. They're Brisolyn with 172, 132 KD. I mean, obviously that's a lot of Bohemian Helvetiers killed there, but there are not many on the field. 12 in queue, 19 on the field now. It's a little bit tricky fights for both now. Nope's resource looking better. Still has a lot of gold. So overall, I think small lead for Nope maybe, considering the rest bank. But he needs to get it onto the field.
Brisolyn is expanding nicely behind this. I don't know how much the rest of this map is going to matter. It seems like we're just going to be looking at this screen most of the fight.
Yeah.
But I guess there is quite a bit of gold and stone back there. So maybe if this ends up going a bit longer.
Yeah, she needs to stop this push though. A lot of bombard cannons went down for her. Yeah. Now the castle is under attack. Could theoretically fire at those two outfits at the front. It's currently firing at Helvetiers. Castle will fall, so this is a strong push by Nope, and I think he will get onto the scoreboard here. Let's see, maybe if he produces enough meat shield. That's the big question now.
Yep. And there's nothing in front right now. I guess the Hussite wagons.
Wagons at least tank some for new Helvetiers to arrive.
It's just halb and Q for Brisolyn though, and bombard cannons. I'd like more conks, ideally, but the Paladin are putting in pretty good work too, to be honest.
Even we're still back to that middle spot where we've been all game. Nope extended a bit to the south as well. Maybe taking wood there leads a lot of wood. That's a lot on that main gold, right? Is that 10k on the main gold? Or no, it's 4k on the main gold, but it's still a huge main gold for Nope, so expansion isn't as needed with
True.
these very chunky golds on Hyper Random here.
Yeah, and theoretically, the Bohemians don't need to spend a ton of gold, right? They're mostly spending gold on the Hufnitsa, which ideally you're not losing.
Yeah.
So Nope can stretch
Brisolyn
that
has
pretty
good
far.
gold eco though, right? She's got 30 on there now. Now running out of food though, producing so many Helvetiers, starting to make some farms.
Nope needs help, man. He's starting to run out of wood is actually the more pressing concern for Nope right now. Basically only, I guess he's got
Yeah, maybe the
2
wagons were
wood
an
lines
issue, right?
inside his walls.
It's wagons eating up a
Yeah,
lot
true.
of wood to make them. Got 30 on wood now, gets to produce some more. It's still bombard cannons and Hoffnitz shooting gallery in the middle. Hoffnitz should win that, right? More HP, more range.
Yeah.
Spanish bomber can fire a bit faster, so at least there's also a bonus.
Brisolyn's been doing a really good job microing, considering what should be much more difficult to micro bombard cannons.
I think I'd like to see some hand cannons from her behind. It's a bit easier to afford than the Kongs. Big shots.
Ooh, goes a little too far forward.
Was
And this
splash damage
castle,
too, yeah.
again, on the same castle on the hill.
Made it
It's
to
not gonna go up.
90%, but dies before it goes up to the Hoffnitze. And now Nope can maybe take the hill. Forward castle from Nope might be nice. I mean, it's hard to place castles because there's always bombard cannons around. But Brisolyn now running out of them. She's making non-heavy scorpions. Ooh, bit of a fatal misclick there maybe. Oof. As the castles in the base start falling for the queen.
Yeah, and you need those castles up as the Spanish. I think conks are always going to be an important part of your composition here. Although, maybe not
One
if you don't have the
champ
food eco.
Yeah. Needs to maybe buy food. I think it's time to panic buy food here. Does she have a market? She does. Food price is high though. Snope takes the hill and now goes for a forward castle under it. Classic.
Yeah. It's still a good castle. I don't mind it. It'd be nice up on that hill, but the forward castle's good anyway.
Wasn't getting some damage with one bombard cannon here. Now she has 3 again. Not really much army to go with it, and the help numbers have a bit stabilized. We're at 31. Food eco looking good for Nope, right? I think he has a nice eco distribution now for Bohemians with a lot on wood and solid farm and gold eco. Now there's the castle on the hill.
There's
Let's
that
go,
castle
Nope.
on the hill. There we go. Yeah, Brisolyn has only got the 1 siege workshop now. Panic gets some more up
Lord.
at the back, but there's just no production.
That's a full queue in that 1 siege workshop. And sadly, the Scorpions in the middle will block production for a bit of the bombard cannons as well. But she's taking good trades, right? Microing onto the Hoffnitze here.
Yeah, Nope. Right click to the castle. Looked away at the wrong time. Still has 6, but only some
More
of them are at the
falling.
front.
Can Brisolyn somehow
getting good
stabilize?
snipes in here.
Yeah, but they're always in so low numbers, right? I think she needs to master them a bit more. Now she's trying to master them at the back, but she calls the GG. The push is unstoppable, and Nope gets a dub. Yeah,
Bohemian
interesting
Dopey.
map. I mean, lucky map
It
gen
was a
for
very
Nope.
good map.
If there was water,
Yes, it was a
this
very
looks a
good
lot
map.
different with this matchup. Close
Very
together,
good point.
wall start, so you can get to your deathfall quite easily against the potential rush from the Spanish, right? Wasn't possible with the sea walls, even though it was only sea walls. So yeah, kind of perfect map gen for Nope. Unlucky for Bri, but still a pretty close game, 20 minutes. And Brisolyn held well, maybe needed some other units than Paladins earlier, maybe more champs, maybe some hand cannons. I think that would have made it a bit easier for her. You can also use ramps pretty well against Bohemians at times. Maybe on the sides. But it's stressful for the Bohemian player having to attack around the ramps if they just walk on towards the Hoffnitze.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's always going to be tough. But yeah, maybe I don't know if you can play mobility on that map either as the Spanish. That main gold being so big really
Yeah,
lets you
the
just
big
camp in
mango
the main
made
base.
it very easy, right? You didn't need to expand much.
If you have this already, but I'm going to send you the replay from the game we
Oh,
missed.
you have it already. Okay. Yeah, Brisolyn noticed as well. Oh, I forgot which civ we said for the sunburn, but I did cross them off, right? Malian's Chinese was my prediction, and I guess it's looking good because we saw some other civs that
Yeah, it could
were
still be
made,
that.
right? Berbers and Tatars would be unplayed then, so maybe it's Berbers instead of China.
Yeah, I think probably Berbers and Malians would be my guess at this stage now, but I still wouldn't hate Chinese, and Tatars might be preferable now in retrospect. But I
Ula
don't know.
getting a lot of Maxis rocks here, betting on nope. Congrats, Ula. We know.
Yeah, we did miss a game. We're getting to it. Don't worry.
I'm 2 minutes into Sunburn.
2 minutes.
2 seconds.
I'm 2 seconds as well.
3, 2, 1. Let's go into an action-packed Sunburn game. 2 camel civs against each other. It was the Berbers for Brisolyn here. Cheaper camels versus stronger camels. What do you prefer?
Early on, I think I prefer the Malians here, but Berbers should have the edge if the game goes long. Of course, we do have somewhat inside information that it doesn't go super long. So I think I prefer the Malians maybe a little bit. You do have to produce, though.
Not sure about that Rex start for Nope. I think you go for a camel here and maybe with an early market. That's usually the meta in camel versus camel fights. I mean, I guess champs are alright. Brisolyn doesn't lose a villager. Good save. 1 HP will there.
1 HP, yeah.
It's
the champion
Pikeman
opening
edition,
is strange,
I guess.
right?
Brisolyn is adding Pikeman, so maybe the champs can do something there.
Double Pikeman, Malian and Berber Pikeman mirror. Actually huge.
I mean, if it was a long map and you're aiming to play anti-market, I think Pikeman edition is good in this Civ matchup. But it just takes out a bit of the speed at the start here for both of them. And both are housed at 30, so very even in that regard.
Nice. Very chill. I expected way more instant action, but both players.
Yeah, we had a lot more Will kills on Aftermath than we're having on Sunburn.
Yeah.
Aftermath was a crazy rushes.
Good addition actually for Brisolyn after all, the pikemen, because the champions aren't really in this fight. Castle on the left. Almost denied. The camels kind of took a long time to get around it.
But Brisolyn will get some kills on those villagers. Once more, Nope's buildings aren't really that cute. Now the queues will run out, but he defends the initial onslaught here. Berbers with the initiative, though. I think the initiative should be for the Malian, so that's good news for Brisolyn, who has the cheaper units and 3 castles at home. Beautiful build by her, adding in camel archers and trebuchets really quickly.
Yeah, camel archers should just destroy the Malians, I think, unless they can get into SO. But I don't know if we're going to get too many of those.
Maybe lacking bombard cannons a bit too much. I mean, he did just win with the Aufnit, so maybe wants to do it again. Champions are joining the fight now. They have better armor against the Camel Archers, but Berber Camels in numbers still take a good fight here. I would much prefer Siege Onagers over Bombard Cannons here for the Malian. Brisolyn also adding Bombard Cannons from the right. Now she has more range on the BBC than the Malians.
True. Yeah, Malian's not great Bombard Cannon Civ. No Siege Engineers, right? So makes these engagements extra tough. And yeah, the Camel Archers are just destroying here.
Esso would have helped a lot. But we're not seeing them. And so the Bombard Cannons go down. Brisolyn also taking the market, now gaining another advantage in this. Nope, is fighting closer to his production. Maybe he can stabilize there.
That's an optimistic castle from Nope. It's a very optimistic castle.
Bombard Cannons could intra-shoot it as well. And the trades are still good for the Berber Camel Archer combo. Castle will be denied. Brisolyn pushing from the left. Now the early trebuchets come into play as well, aiming at the town center. There is some back expansion, but even the Bombard Cannons are being followed by some camels from Brisolyn.
Great snipes there. And just getting them out into the back of the base is really nice for Brisolyn there. And well, I think this might be over.
It is over. Brisolyn takes the series 4-1. Berbers on Sunburn was a good one as well. You should have said 4-1. But no, you had to agree with my 3-2. You're just trying to be too likable, man. Except for when you're talking about Dravidians or Gujaras, then you're not trying to be likable. At least not by me. Maybe by some other people.
For the people. Yeah, exactly.
Well, GG's. Congrats, Brisolyn. That was a really strong performance by Brisolyn, and
yes.
Nope. If you watch it back, or if you don't, because you're here, you need to shift queue more units.